What up, family? Welcome to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry Institute. The reason why I use that word, guys, it's not just your mom and pop's type of ministry. It's a lot, much more to it than that in terms of the services, the actual goals, the origins of the ministry, etc., etc. Hey, listen, I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose. And if you're out there and you're struggling, you've made mistakes, you don't have the proper amount of finances, education, support, but you ain't giving up. You're still pushing forward, and in a clean-hearted way, you're pushing forward. You're not taking no hacks or no back doors or no narcissistic path to jump the line. You're just being your absolute best. If that sounds like you, welcome home. And that's when it comes to any struggles that you may truly be having in life. Alcohol addiction, drug abuse, obesity, eating disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, homelessness, medical issues. If you haven't surrendered, you're still hoping on in faith and pushing forward in love. This ministry is here for you. A premium emphasis is placed on this group of people. You know, special shout of thanks and appreciation goes out to you guys that have been supporting the ministry for oh so long. And you guys know that based on the most recent video, there's been some changes in terms of, or not changes, but a refinement. That's a better word, a more accurate word. There is a refinement of the messages that will be put on this particular arm or YouTube channel of the ministry. It's going to be pivoting. It's going to be refined. We're going to pivot also slightly because it's always about holistic mind, body, and spirit health and wellness. Because if you aren't operating at your personal premium, not the premium that the world says you should be at. There ain't no one dress size or no one pant size that fits all. There's no one a certain amount of weights that you have to lift, a certain amount of body fat that you have to have. It's not a certain amount of money that you have to have. You don't have to be as smart as the world has told you you need to be in order to be successful. You don't have to go to church, and nothing wrong with it, but you don't have to go to church 3, 5, 7 days a week. Some of you guys don't even go to church. But the fact of the matter is, you're aware of the fact that the church, according to the Bible, is not made with bricks and mortar. It's not made with hands. It's not made with stones. You are the church. The church is within you. So you don't even have to go to church. Quite frankly, you don't even have to be what we call a believer in God. You can be an atheist, but you believe in respecting all life, all plant life, all animal life, all human life, and the life of Mother Earth. It's what you carry that makes the difference. And we're going to get into this because the cheat sheet of the matter is, if you're not operating in a premium, your personal premium, in each different areas of all that he has given you, the mental self, the physical self, and the spiritual self, then that's why some things that you could have been over with already, you could have transcended already. You could have overcome those things already. And if it's not by way of his divine timing, meant for you to have already overcome those things, at a bare minimum, you could be more crisp, more sharp when it comes to navigating those difficulties. But if you're sharp in one or two of those areas of you, then where do you think the enemy is going to attack you from? Doesn't mean that he doesn't care if you know it, if you are aware of it. He doesn't care. He just knows that you or the next person or me or whoever, hey, this person is sharp. mentally and spiritually, they got their game, they hitting on all cylinders. But physically, they can't go up and down a flight of stairs. This person, the next person, maybe can run a marathon, lift a ton of weights, and they're sharp spiritually. They work on that connection with this thing that we call God or the universe. But mentally, they're fragile. Mentally, they can't stay locked in, zoned in, focused. Their creative mental powers have been diminished. Where do you think the enemy is going to come for you? And even though you may be struggling in the physical area or the as far as like maybe it's a financial thing, you're trying, you're grinding, you're being all that you can be when it comes to dotting the I's and crossing the T's financially, but it's not working out. Pardon me. And you may be thinking to yourself, why is that? There's nothing else for you to do. There's nothing, you can't work any harder. You can't push any further. You're giving it everything that you got in that financial area. And it's because one or three of the areas or the aspects of you is out of balance. So you need to do a deep dive into yourself. And what did I do today to prioritize my mental self? What did I do today to prioritize my physical self? I knocked that out the park. Well, your spiritual self that you may have neglected intentionally or otherwise, but because that is out of balance, that's why you ain't getting that financial breakthrough. That's why that relationship is so hard. That's why every time you come across a new person, they're still the same old person. You keep attracting these clowns, these buffoons, these thoughts. You keep attracting the same kind of people because there's an imbalance somewhere. Now again, society has taught most people so many lies. We've been brainwashed from the cradle. The religions, the spiritual teachings, the government, everything that's on the surface of it has misguided us intentionally. Your parents, my parents, didn't know. They were indoctrinated, just as their parents and their parents and their parents before them. But this is the time of the Great Awakening. And so the truth is out there. The truth is being made known. The question is, what are you going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? Am I going to continue to neglect one or more of these three aspects of me? Are you going to continue to neglect one or more of those three aspects of you? And you're wondering why this may be great in your life, this may be great in your life, but this sucks a whole bunch. That balance, your body, your mind, your spirit, the essence of you is crying out for you to prioritize each of those things, to properly merge, balance, and synthesize the mind, the body, and the spirit. So now you're whole. Now you're whole. Now this doesn't mean everything is going to get hunky-dory and rainbows and unicorns. There's still going to be challenges. But your ability to more sufficiently and more efficiently navigate those things, the more efficient you become at overcoming those things, enduring those things. Where somebody else is going through the same type of situations and challenges and they're distraught, like they're broke down, they've given up hope, they've fallen into despair. And you just, for some kind of way, just keep kind of chugging along. Maybe bent and broken, a little bit more, but not broken in its entirety. Just kind of fractured a little bit. And that heals. But for the guy or the girl that's completely broken, they've quit on themselves, they've quit on God, they're permanently in that condition. See, the powers that be are so afraid of you and me and those like you and me, awakening to this final piece to the puzzle. The final piece to the puzzle is to properly merge all that he has given you. You can't be whole if you're not living whole. Your finances could be great. Your relationships could be great. But your relationships are in a trash can. That's because you're going to church 3 or 5 days a week. You're going to the gym 3 or 5 days a week, but you aren't doing anything specifically for the mental you. See, that mental you is like it's like the dial on the TV or the remote control nowadays. That's what your mind is like. That's what the human mind is like. That remote control determines what channel it is that you watch, / what frequency it is that you're on, / what are you aiming for? What are you goaling for? What are you locked in on? And if you can't control that remote control, that's like trying to watch a program with healthy relationship, physical fitness, financial abundance. You're trying to watch a channel on the TV, but the kid, the baby, the stranger, whoever has the remote. So you can't stay locked into love. You can't stay locked into your mental creative faculties. You can't stay locked into being a better person, dealing with that difficulty. No, the mental self is out of balance. Like driving down the road with 4 cars on a tire and 2 or 3 or even one of them is properly balanced, but the remainder is not. That's a problem. You see it just as much as I do, and I'll prepare to wrap this up. You see it just as much as I do. Some guy, big, strong, tough, he'll fight King Kong and 10 other big MFers. But the moment somebody pushes his button, he loses it. Anger outburst, tears, fall into depression, rage, and so forth and so on. Then you got that same big guy or that well-fit young lady or mature woman, whatever. She's got it all together. She's hitting the gym. She works on her mental self. Reach out to this ministry if you like some specific strategies and tactics about some of the programs that this ministry uses to nourish, to revitalize, and keep fresh and active the mental self. But this young lady, this mature woman, she's got it all together. She works on her mental self. She works on her physical self. But spiritually, she's inadequate, insufficient. She doesn't work on her spiritual self. And in a time where people are into narcissism, witchcraft, Ouija boards, crystal balls, and all these kinds of dark hocus pocus stuff, where do you think the enemy is going to come for her? You see. Let me end this by saying, I don't say this arrogantly, I say this very humbly. And let me qualify my statement by saying this as well. I do not have all of the answers. Let me be clear. So I'm going to say it again for those who are in the back. I don't have all the answers. My dad, may peace and blessings be upon him, always taught me and my siblings that any man or any woman, any person who says that they have all the answers is actually an idiot who has prematurely concluded their education. So I don't have all the answers. Let me be clear. I do not. However, the answers that I do have has been tried, tested, proven, and refined over also many years of also many decades now of walking this what we call the awakened path. When you merge, balance, and synthesize the mental, physical, and spiritual you go from like driving down the road with the emergency brake on your car to all of a sudden taking that emergency brake off the car. You still got to put in that time. You still got to be alert. There's still going to be some bumps in the road, but you don't have that emergency brake on anymore. The powers that be are so afraid of this. And we have been taught so many things that basically just send us down rabbit holes, distract us, make us feel inadequate, make us feel insufficient, make us feel like we're incapable of getting it done. Why? Because they told you and they told me, you got to have so much amount of education to be successful. You got to have so much amount of money to be happy. You got to be in such a physical shape and conditioning for you to be healthy. And you know, the good book says, be it unto you according to your faith. Another word for faith is your beliefs. Be it unto you according to what you believe. So if we've been taught to believe these things, people walk away. I get client after client after client, a year, decades now after decades. The reason they never started a fitness program, in particular, a fitness diet, is because they've been taught that they have to eat all of this stuff that they just really don't like. And that's false. They want to get into the gym because they was taught that in order for them to see some results and become healthier, they got to run on a treadmill 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 3 or 4 hours a day or whatever. And that's false. Guys go in there and thinking that, you know, they got to lift all these weights, this amount of heavy weights to get strong, and that's false. It goes on and on and on. People won't engage in their spiritual health and wellness. People won't prioritize their mental health and wellness. People will neglect their physical health and wellness because society has told everybody, you got to spend all this amount of time. You got to spend all this amount of effort. And in a day and time that we're living in where everything is pretty much get up, get the kids ready, make breakfast, deal with traffic, go to work, come home, prepare dinner, take a shower, go to sleep, and repeat. People is looking like, well, if I'm zeroed in on this, how could they possibly get it done? But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't take all of that. It doesn't take all of that time. It doesn't take all of that effort. It doesn't take all of that energy. It just takes that commitment. That commitment to say, I'm going to do something. If it's 2 minutes, if it's 20 minutes, every single day, just like I get up and I brush my teeth, I take my shower, I make my bed every single day. I comb my hair. Every single day, I'm going to do something that shows this thing that we call God, that I value, that I appreciate, my mental self, my physical self, and my spiritual self. Don't be confused. Well, why would you go to the gym for 5 minutes? Or why would you walk up and down the block for 5 minutes? What's that's going to do? 5 minutes beats the brakes off of 0 minutes, and it adds up. If you go to my website, the physical fitness branch of the website at mountfitnessmbs.com, click on, and I'll finish with this and then I'll go ahead and get out of here. Click on the meal plans. I haven't updated it in forever. I don't sell personal training. It sells itself. Returning clients, them passing the word forward, people like you, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't do a lot of marketing, advertising. The Heavenly Father has blessed me to that I am the message that I bring. I am His message that He has sent. So long story short, I haven't updated that in forever. But if you go click on the testimonials, see what pretty much the few people up there, see what they're all saying about their diet. See what they're all saying about their diet. You don't have to lift all those weights. You don't have to eat all of that stuff. Do you have to lift some weights? Yes. Do you have to do some of that stuff? Yes. You don't have to go to church 7 days a week. That's maybe not a good analogy, because actually you don't have to go to church in order to honor this thing that we call God. But do you have to do that every single minute of your day to where, you know what, I didn't do the hours, so I'm not going to do it. Wrong answer. Listen, I'd love to dot the I's and cross the T's a little bit more when it comes to today's message, but in a nutshell, it's about you recognizing that you need all of you in order to overcome all of the toxicity, these dark and ugly and evil times that we're living in. And the enemy is on the prowl, on the mental prowl, the spiritual prowl, and the physical prowl, seeking whom he can devour. Now, God has given you a mind, a body, and a spirit. Which one of those you think he gave you for you to neglect, for you to not prioritize? Some are going to be smarter. There are people out there that will think me under this table, think me around the corner and back, and probably got more intelligence in their pinky finger than I have in my whole entire years thus far. Some people are going to be in great physical shape. Some people are going to have spiritual gifts. The power to speak in tongues, the power to heal, the power to prophesy, etc. It's not being at their best. It's at you being at your best. If he wanted everybody to have the same level of intelligence, the same level of fitness, the same spiritual powers, he don't make mistake. If that's what he wanted, then that's how it would have been. He wants us to nourish one another, to trust one another, to trust him, and to realize, hey, I may have it going on in this area, not so much in that area. You got it going on in that area, not so much in this area. Let's help each other out. I may have the upbeat, the energy, the enthusiasm. I may have it one day. The next day, you may have to step up. That's what it's about, guys. And it's that approach when it comes to the mental, physical, and spiritual you. Here are some services that are designed to help you guys. Philosophical counseling for the older adults. And this is for the mental health, wellness, and nourishment. For the older adults, there's philosophical counseling. For the youth and young adult, there's counseling for them as well. Youth and young adult mentoring and counseling. When it comes to the spiritual health and wellness, there's tons and tons of clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices. Everything from acts of random kindness to water therapy, aromatherapy, prayer, medication, fasting, sound wave frequencies that heal the spirit. Tons and tons of clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices. Acts of random forgiveness, spending time in nature, spending time with your loved ones, your pets, remembering what really gives you joy in life and taking some time out in that capacity. Tons and tons of clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices are provided and recommended by this ministry. If you'd like some information about that, hit me up by way of the email link down in the description box. For the physical fitness itself, for the physical vessel itself, again, the certified physical fitness training, go to the website at mountfitnessmbs.com. And again, if you're interested in either of these compartmentalized services, or if you're interested in some of each of these services, Hit me up by way of the email link. I am looking forward to scheduling you for your initial consultation and evaluation. Now, when it comes to this ministry, you know what it's about. You know who it's for. Please help this ministry become more able to help even more people. Like, share, subscribe. There's a Cash App link as well down in the description box. Pennies, dimes, nickels, quarters, dollars. It's not the thought that counts. I'm sorry, it's not the amount that counts. It's the thoughts that count. And he sees your heart. It's about what you carry. Make a monetary donation. I received that by faith. Receive your abundant return harvest by faith. For pennies, nickels, dimes, quarter, whatever. Send me a word of encouragement. Leave me a comment. Send me an email message. Send me some love, some encouragement. Receive your harvest, your abundant harvest by faith. You want to wonder why ain't nobody supporting you? You want to wonder why ain't nobody telling you how good you look or how they see your hard work? Why? You aren't planting seeds and telling that to anybody else. It's just that simple. If we don't plant seeds, then we have no legitimate expectations to receive a harvest. It's just the way it is. So please like, share, subscribe, send some comments, monetary donations, all that good stuff, guys. And if you are interested in any of the services, if you have a specific subject matter that you'd like to get my 2 cents on, whatever, the email link is also down in the description box for that purpose. This is what I got for you guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Yes, I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and yes, I will holla back. Peace.